20-year-old next-gen player Casper Ruud from Norway beat Joao Sousa 6-3, 3-6, 6-4 to reach the quarter-final at the Rio Open ATP 500 tournament on Quadra Guga Kuerten in Rio de Janeiro. Casper Ruud has reached the quarter-final in Rio de Janeiro for the second time in his career 2 years after qualifying for his maiden ATP Tour semi-final in the 2017 edition of the Brazilian tournament. After a trade of breaks in the 5th and 6th games of the first set, Ruud got his second break at love and held his serve easily to win the final set 6-3. Ruud earned an early break in the first game of the second set. Sousa broke back to draw level to 2-2. Sousa converted his third breakpoint chance at deuce in the 8th game and served out the second set 6-3 after saving 2 breakpoints. Ruud broke serve at love in the second game of the decisive set, earned a break point for 5-1 in the 6th game, but Sousa held his service game before breaking serve on his third opportunity. The Portuguese player held his service game to win his third consecutive game for 4-4. Ruud sealed the win with a break of serve on his second match point. Casper's father Christian is a former ATP player, who reached a career high of world number 39, played in 1995 Bastad final and reached the 4th round at the 1997 Australian Open. Casper Ruud reached 2 ATP Challenger finals in Braga and Francavilla, the quarter-final at the Swedish Open last July and the second round at the Australian Open and Roland Garros after coming through the qualifying round. It's a great chance for another ATP 500 level semi-final. DJ is maybe the favorite in the ATP rankings, but I have shown some good tennis before here and hopefully I can win again, said Ruud. Ruud will face Laszlo DJ in Friday's quarter-final. DJ followed up his upset win over Dominic Thiem with a 6-4, 6-2 win over Taro Daniel from Japan. The Serbian player did not face a breakpoint and won 83% of his first serve points against Daniel. Albert Ramos Vinolas came back from one set down to beat Federico Delbonis 3-6, 7-5, 6-3 after 2 hours and 20 minutes. Delbonis broke serve in the 9th game of the second set and served for the match at 5-4, but Ramos Vinolas broke straight back to draw level to 5-5. The Spanish player broke for the second consecutive time in the 12th game to clinch the second set 7-5. Ramos Vinolas converted the only breakpoint of the third set to win the third set 6-3. Ramos Vinolas will face Pablo Cuevas, who beat this year's Cordoba champion Juan Ignacio Londero 6-1, 6-4 after dropping just 1 point on serve in the first set. The Uruguayan broke twice in the 2nd and 6th games of the first set and in the 3rd game of the second set. French next-gen player Hugo Humbert upset world number 12 Borna Coric 6-3, 6-3 at the Open 13 in Marseille, scoring the biggest win of his career. Humbert broke 3 times in the 3rd game of the first set and twice in the 3rd and 9th games of the second set to reach his first ATP quarter-final. Humbert, who won the challenger title in Cherbourg, converted 3 of his 8 breakpoints. The young French player held his serve in the first game before earning 3 breakpoints in the second game, but Coric saved them. The Frenchman got the first break in the 4th game when a volley winner and fended off a breakpoint in the next game. The Frenchman saved a breakpoint as he was serving for the first set at 5-3 and sealed the first set with a good serve. In the second set, Humbert broke serve in the third set and sealed the second set with another break, when Coric made a backhand error. Humbert will face German qualifier Matthias Bachinger, who beat Fernando Verdasco 6-4, 6-3 in 77 minutes. Bachinger saved 8 of the 9 breakpoints and broke 3 times. David Goffin beat Benoit Paire 6-2, 6-3 after 63 minutes to reach his first quarterfinal since Cincinnati last year. My level was good, very positive. The atmosphere was great, and it's always easier when you are not the favorite. This was the first time I played a player ranked that high. I was able to stay calm and play well, said Humbert. Goffin won 5 consecutive points in the 6th game to break serve after a backhand error from pair. Goffin got another break in the 8th game to close out the first set after another error from pair. Pair broke serve in the 3rd game of the 2nd set to open up a 3-1 lead. Goffin broke back in the 6th game at love to draw level to 3-3. Goffin converted his 6th break point in the 8th game and held serve at love in the 8th game with a service winner at 5-3 to close out the match, securing his spot in the quarter-finals, where he will face Giles Simon. Andrei Rublev edged Matteo Berrettini 6-3, 7-6 after 1 hour and 31 minutes to avenge his last year's defeat against the Italian player in Gstaad. Rublev, who beat Jo-Wilfried Tsonga in the opening round, broke serve in the 2nd game and held his next service games to close out the first set 6-3. Rublev broke serve in the 5th game to take a 4-2 lead, but Berrettini broke back in the 10th game to draw level to 5-5. Rublev won the tie-break 7-2 to secure his spot in the quarter-final, where he will face Mikhail Kukushkin, who beat Denis Shapovalov on Wednesday. The former U.S. Open boys champion is a win away from reaching the semifinals of an ATP Tour event for the first time in his career. Felix Auger-Aliassime, Toronto 2018, via Twitter, @RogersCup. Felix Auger-Aliassime's week at the Rio Open keeps getting better and better. The 18-year-old Canadian began his campaign at the tournament on Tuesday with a shock straight sets win over second-seed Fabio Fognini. The Italian veteran, who is currently ranked 16th in the world, is Auger-Aliassime's biggest win in terms of ranking. Furthermore, that sole victory has ensured that the Canadian will break into the top 100 next week for the first time in his career. Continuing his momentum at the tournament, Auger-Aliassime followed up on his first-round triumph by defeating Chile's Christian Guerin 7-5, 6-4, in the 2nd round, hitting 27 winners to 31 unforced errors. Auger-Aliassime will now play in only his 2nd quarterfinal on the ATP Tour and his first in a 500 event. It's been good. I didn't know what to expect when I got here, hadn't won many matches this year. I knew I was playing well from the practices. I thought I had the chance to have tournaments like these. I came in, believed in my game, and it's paying off now. I was able to stay strong physically and mentally at these conditions. Tournament website RioOpen.com quoted the next-gen star as saying, "Wildcard Auger-Aliassime has been tipped as a future star in the sport since his teenage years. At the age of 14 he qualified for the main draw of a challenger event for the first time. He is a former U.S. Open boys champion and is one of the youngest players of all time to win a challenger title at the age of 16 years and 10 months. In total, the Canadian currently has 4 challenger titles to his name. Awaiting Auger-Aliassime in the next round will be another rising star on the men's tour." Spain's Jaume Munar prevailed in a marathon clash against Great Britain's Cameron Norrie. The Spaniard required almost 3.5 hours to defeat Norrie 7-6, 6, 5-7, 7-6, 4. It's probably the toughest game I'll have to play so far this week. Munar has been playing good, having good results. He already beat me 2 times on clay last year, so I'm expecting a tough match. But I believe in myself and I know I have what it takes to beat a guy like him," Auger-Aliassime said about his upcoming opponent. In their head-to-head, Auger-Aliassime is yet to defeat Munar after losing to him twice last year. Following a series of shocks, there are only one seeded player remaining in the Rio Open draw. That is 5th seed Joao Sousa, who will play his 2nd round match on Thursday. Stefanos Tsitsipas beat Hungary's Hubert Hurkacz 6-4, 6-2 after just 59 minutes in a match between 2 next-gen players at the Open 13 in Marseille to score his first win in his 3rd appearance in the French tournament. Tsitsipas had already beaten Hurkacz at last November's next-gen ATP finals in Milan. The Greek star, who reached the Australian Open semi-final last January, converted his 2nd break-point chance in the 10th game to close out the first set 6-4. He earned back-to-back breaks in the 6th and 8th games to seal the second set 6-2, when Hurkacz fired his forehand into the tramline. It was a good match. I enjoyed it. I am moving on. It is nice to start so well. It was a no-trouble match. Everything went smooth. Breaks happened when they had to happen. It was a solid match, said Tsitsipas. Mikhail Kukushkin upset Denis Shapovalov 6-4, 7-6, 7-4 in 82 minutes. The Kazakh player earned his break in the 7th game for 4-3 en route to winning the first set 6-4. Kukushkin saved 2 breaks in the 4th game of the 2nd set, which went on serve with no breaks until the tie-break. Kukushkin won the first 4 points to win the tie-break 7-4. Giles Simon rallied from 1 set down to beat Peter Gojozic 4-6, 6-4, 6-2 to secure his spot in the quarter-final, where he will face either David Goffin or Benoit Paire. Gojozic sealed the first set 6-4 with his only break in the 10th game. Simon converted his second break chance in the 3rd game to win the second set 6-4. Simon broke twice at Love in the 1st and 5th games to win the decisive set 6-2. French next-gen player Hugo Humbert edged Ernest Gulbis 6-3, 7-6, 7-3. German qualifier Matthias Bachinger fought back from 1 set down to beat Steve Darcy 4-6, 6-3, 6-4 in 2 hours and 3 minutes.